Hello everybody, Pupsy Animations here, and today we're going to be talking about something, deep water. If you didn't know, Frontier is adding deep water and swimming dinosaurs to JWE3. It was such a highly requested feature and they applied it to 5 species? Only 5? That's odd. Let's see what the species are. Spinosaurus, yeah. Baryonyx makes sense. Dimetrodon, Pyroraptor, yeah, and Spinoraptor, yeah. Those all make sense, right? Technically, all large sauropods can wade water, but there's also a small problem. There are a decent number of species that should swim that can't. Now, unlike Planet Zoo or Prehistoric Kingdom, I don't think every species should be able to swim, so you can create natural barriers for some species. Now, there are only a few species that I say should swim. Those species being are Parasaurolophus, because it swam in a show, Ouranosaurus, because it literally swam in a show, Tyrannosaurus, because it literally swam in a movie. Now, via association, I would say Allura Titan, because, it would share the same rate as Parasaurolophus. And to a lesser extent, I would say maybe Corythosaurus and Centaurosaurus, but I don't really know because those two feel like dry animals. I don't really imagine them swimming. Maybe that's just me. Now, also via association, I'd say some of the other large carnivores, because they have those powerful legs. They should be able to swim. But I'd be fine if they wouldn't. Now, Spinoceratops. It has that Spinosaur DNA, and it could basically, be like a giant dinosaur hippo. Now, for Therizinosaurus, now I'm not sure if it would swim, but I think it's tall enough that it could wade water. Now, Suchomimus, yeah, it's got it. It's going to be added in the eventual Chaos Theory DLC, and we saw it swim in Chaos Theory, so makes sense. Deinocheirus, I do think it should swim, not really requiring the ability to swim, but, just can swim in case, like, if there's deep water. Now, finally, Deinonychus, which, if it's added, I think Deinonychus should swim. I mean, it's the tadpole guy, guys. Like, that makes sense. Now, another feature we could add to, make the deep water more interesting is pterosaurs, for them to skim the water with their beaks to catch fish. Now, lagoons. Wait, Popsy, why are you talking about lagoons in a deep water video? Because I want to, and this is my channel and my video, and you will like it. But before we get into that, let me tell you about something. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers before JWE3 releases, and we'll also be streaming it the day it releases. So I hope you're there, so make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Now, for lagoons, I want pterosaurs to dive in, for fish, and maybe get killed brutally. Also, another thing would be like lagoon ramp, a pretty highly requested feature which would connect lagoon and land enclosure and allow for species to cross over. None of the species would require a lagoon ramp, but that's for later. Once they swap from land to lagoon or vice versa, they'll have different requirements. So basically, you could trap a Notosaurus on land, but they would never be like 100% comfortable because they would want to go back to the lagoon. Now, the species that would use it are, first off, Notosaurus. Occasionally come onto land, but when on land, it would require lots of water and rock so it doesn't dehydrate. They would also hate Dilophosaurus. Archelon. If it's added, it would only go on land when it would need to lay eggs and there was a nest near enough. And the nest is surrounded by terrain like such as sand and a lot of ground foliage to protect their babies from pterosaurs and small carnivores. Now, Pyroraptor. Pyroraptor would swim in the water, but it can't eat fish, so you'd probably need a ramp for it to get out to find meat. Or maybe they can introduce like a new meat rock thingy for the lagoons. Now, Spinosaurus. Come on, guys. We all watch Rebirth. This just feels like the inevitability if they add in the lagoon ramp. That's just one of the species that would use it. And they also like being around Mosa. Now, for two species that I wouldn't mind having or not having are Ouranosaurus and Baryonyx. But I want them to like deep dive fully into like the bottom of the lagoon. Maybe like dive a little deep and use their lagoon rock. But not go to like the bottom of the lagoon, because that'd be weird. Especially for Ouranosaurus. Finally, a thing about deep water is basically they're acting like a natural fish spawner, which in theory sounds good, but in practice comes a way to cheese out of making a Spinosaurus enclosure by just having a bunch of deep water and no gates. So, a way I've come up to fix that is an underwater fish feeder, which would allow the fish to swim in the vicinity of the feeder in the deep water. Now, to resupply the feeder, you can't just drive your Jeep into deep water. I mean, you could, but all your people are going to drown. So, a way to fix it would be to connect it to a normal feeder or something like that. Now, that's pretty much it for this video. So before I go, I want to thank all y'all, and I apologize for not uploading in a while. But I plan to upload more often, and I'll see you guys in the next video to decide to watch. Bye!